hey, we know that that's not the way to salvation. Scripture says to be carnally minded is it is death, but and enmity toward Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So you being carnally minded means that you think that everything that you see and experience here in Babylon is what you should be doing. Like the elder was saying, hey, I knew that there had to be something better for me than just being a slave to Esau's system. I knew it had to be something better, you know?
Right.
I knew that the position the Lord was even placing me in and showing me, like, if this is the end, I mean, like, if this is all that life has to offer, bro, I'm finna put it in neutral. I mean, seriously. Because there is no salvation here in this society. Everything's turned upside down, you know? And it's promoted. Anarchy is promoted. You know, disorder and confusion is promoted. Wickedness is promoted. But where's righteousness at? That's why he wants you to be carnally minded, to where you can fight, you can be reckless, you can be a savage like him, a beast. That's what these scriptures are talking about. It says, verse 17, actually let me jump down to 19. Yep, come. It says, such a man only feareth the eyes of man, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and considering the most secret parts. So we brought that out earlier, well, we brought out a scripture similar to that earlier, talking about the eyes of the Lord. The reason why I was bringing it back up is because nobody is going to get away with anything.
That's right.
Either you accept the rebuke of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you accept the chastening of the Lord at whatever state that you're in, and you continue to ascend, and you take it cheerfully, or Yahweh Shem Yahushua is still going to give you ultimate rebuke or correction. It's just going to be in the form of death.
ICBM, or teeth of beast, you know?
God.
The sword.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is what the brother quoted earlier. This is, this is Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 10. If thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah, exactly. See, because we are in the time of adversity, you know? Scripture says, though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, roughly you're going to be okay. Because theoretically speaking, it's just like a spiritual training day, you know? So the Lord don't want you to faint, just like when you start running a mile, right? Or you start running long distance. You start off running miles, and you start getting your wind up. That's exactly what the Lord is doing as far as chastising is concerned. Okay? You got it.
Proverbs chapter 24, verse 10. Mm-hmm. For a just man falleth 7 times.
Right.
And riseth up again. Mm-hmm. But the wicked shall fall into mischief.
Right, exactly. Because he's not going to fall and get back up. He's just going to keep on falling. You know, that getting back up is receiving the correction of the Lord. Because that's what makes you upright. You know? That's what our people are missing. This standard, you know, this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, which makes you upright. There's nothing else in this world that makes you upright. Everything else in this world is going to give you knowledge, but it's not going to be knowledge of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You'll receive wisdom.
Flip that one.
This one. You'll receive wisdom, okay? But you're not going to receive wisdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So ultimately, you still a base creature, okay? Because you haven't fully accepted that this whole journey in this truth is based upon what? Receiving correction. Or what did Apostle Gabar say? About affliction, you know? That's exactly what this truth is. It's about how well you can handle affliction of the Lord, which is really making you better. You know? I remember, you know, playing basketball, right? We had to run gas dancers or wind sprints or whatever the case may be, right? You know, before practice and after practice. Well, why was that done? It hurt like hell. You was tired. Your whole form was off. You was just basically throwing your body back and forth to the line. But
Running lines.
right.
Yeah.
But when it was game time, you outworked the competition. But the reason why you outworked the competition is because you weren't like Esau that fell and never got back up. You know? It said a righteous man falls what? 7 times? You still got that? Go ahead.
Chapter 10, chapter 24, verse 16. For a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again.
A just man, that's right. Go ahead.
But the wicked shall fall into mischief.
Right, exactly. So that goes to show you, either you're gonna be cold or hot, man. You know? Either you're gonna be like Esau, you're gonna be completely cold. You know, you ain't gonna care about salvation. You ain't gonna care about judgment. You're gonna think that life is what it is until you receive an ICBM missile. Or you're gonna be hot for your Yahweh Shemel Shah, and when you fall, you're gonna realize I slipped. I think that's another scripture. But I slipped up, and now I need to correct myself. I need to be more obedient, or I need to seek Yahweh Shemel Shah 10 times more. Go ahead.
That's right. That was it on that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I got one.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 2, verse 1.
Okay.
My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
Right.
Set thy heart aright
And endure.
and constantly endure.
Right. So we always give warning before you come into this ministry. This ain't like going to church and sitting down for an hour and a half, listen to somebody teach you the word, and then you leave and you go back and there's no accountability. There's no responsibility. No, we telling you that Yahweh Shemel Shah and his angels are constantly watching you. Okay? You know what that means? When it's time for you to grow, it's also time for affliction. It's time for temptation. You know? Just like, you know, we're still in the Passover. You know? And one of the things in which we do, according to the scriptures, is we take all the leavened bread out of our houses. You know? And that's spiritual. It's not only just physical, but it's spiritual. But once again, either you're obeying what the Lord is telling you to do, or you're not obeying it. That's the difference. Because you're gonna be tempted, man. I'm telling you, hey, like days and days before, right? You start looking at cookies, you be like, oh man, like you start feeling it. Like, you know, because you know your mind is on taking all the leavened bread out of your house. I mean, yeah, and you know, you start going through the process, you start taking things out of your house. You know, you might go out to the store or something like that, and then next thing you know, you ordering food, cookie looking at you like, buy me. That's that temptation, you know? And that's just one form of temptation, you know? Likewise, there's so many various forms of temptation, but more importantly is you have to constantly endure. Okay? That's what Sirach was telling us. Read that again.
Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble.
Right. Chill out, man. The scripture says, be still and know that I am Yahweh Shemel Shah.
That's right.
You know? Like, hey, we don't make any moves on our own, man. And then that's another way of also receiving that correction, okay? Without being, just basically complaining, you know? Even though the scripture said that just complain continually, you know? But when you're being rebuked by Yahweh Shemel Shah, you can't be mad. We put ourselves in this predicament, you know? So if you want to be mad at somebody, you be mad at yourself and you correct yourself and you get back on the right path of righteousness. Because the more you walk that straight line of Yahweh Shemel Shah, truthfully, and brother, correct me, based on your walk, the more you walk in accordance with the word of Yahweh Shemi Shai, the less temptation or less affliction comes about. Yep. It's still gonna come.
Right.
But when you doing what the Lord is commanded you to do, He gonna be like, all right, until you start wavering, that's when the correction come in. You're like, okay, well, you ain't read in 3 or 4 days, bro. What's going on? What you doing? You ain't did no shows. You ain't even, called the brother to see how he doing. These are the things in which you start getting tribulations and rebuke for. Go ahead.
Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end.
Man, that's beautiful because I was thinking about Job earlier this week or last week, and how it says that Job's latter end was better than his beginning, or it was better than his beginning. And likewise here, Sirach is saying the same thing. We can't concern ourselves with how things are going on right now. We can't concern ourselves on how things are going right now. We have to continue to press towards that mark, man. Because by doing so, your eyes single. Because that's another temptation. You'll have hold your peace, bro. Hey, say my man, hold your peace. Hold your peace. Yeah. If you got a question, you can ask us. Okay.
I get back.
All right. Yeah. So having your eye being single, your mind fully set on your Yahweh Shemi Shai is how you actually attain righteousness. To where you don't have to go through all these tribulations. Now, they're going to come because as the Lord increases you, that's a part of being increased. Because we still have to, what is the scripture we read last week? The servant is not greater than his master.
Yep.
So everything Yahweh went through, we're going to go through in some type of a scale of fashion. Lord willing, we'll be able to not go through death. But this knowledge, this wisdom, this understanding that the Lord has given us comes at a cost. And that cost was Yahweh Shai's life. But you also have to pay a price. And just like we come out here week in and week out, what does scripture say? Make your body a living sacrifice. Okay? Is there more on there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Verse 4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully.
There it is.
And be patient when thou art changed to a lower state.
Beautiful. Okay? It says whatever.
Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully.
Whatsoever is brought upon you, smile at it. Okay? Because you know who it's coming from. It's not a mystery anymore. People talk about, that's a coincidence. People talk about, it just happened to fall into my lap, right?
Yeah.
No, we know that Yahweh Shemi Shai does all things. So whatever happens in this truth, as you are attaining righteousness, take it cheerfully. You got to, okay? Or you're gonna faint, Because the opposite of fainting is having what? Strength.
Yep.
Right? And your strength is in knowing who is chastising you. And why he's chastising you. None of these people are going through chastisement. In the day of Jacob's trouble, you best believe, and hold Isaiah 33:6, Bible Pusha. Right. In the day of Jacob's trouble, you're going to remember the days that Yahweh Shemi Shai chastised you beforehand. The time in which you had a flat when you was trying to go to camp, okay? Or the time, the paycheck was stuck in the system for three weeks and you ain't get paid. See, none of these people are going through any type of rebuke. No type of chastisement. it'll befall them in the worst way.
That's right, brother.
See, we take that chastisement cheerfully. We like, hey, the water you how by shimmy I was shy. Cause I needed it. I might not have knew it. Right?
Right. Sometimes you don't know.
But then it happened, and as soon as it happened, you're like, you know what? Call halal like how by shimmy I was shy. For whatever reason it may be. Because that scripture says his will is gonna be done regardless. We have no say-so in it. We can pray, we can plead to the Lord that he shows us mercy. But ultimately, when we're changed to a lower state, it's for a reason. Okay? It's to humble us. It's to where we don't have pride swelling up in us. Going back to the reason why the Passover is so significant and the reason why you get that leavened bread out of your house, because what does leavening do? It rises, it swells. Just like pride.
Yep.
And that's what this society wants you to be, prideful. But what does the scripture say? Why is earth and ashes proud?
That's right.
There's nothing more prideful in a man or something along those lines. There's no reason for anybody to be proud. I think I was saying this after the service when we were watching the earth, how they zoomed out and basically showed the earth. I was like, bro, we are insignificant, bro. We are insignificant. Unless, I mean, and when I say that, I'm coupling that with we have value towards the Lord, but the Lord don't need us, man. So as the scripture says, read that again in Sirach again.
This is book of Sirach, chapter 2, verse 4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully.
Right.
And be patient when thou art changed to a lower state.
And what does the word patient mean? To suffer. Okay? That's what the word patience means. Scripture says the Lord is long-suffering. Like, the elder had talked about the comparison between the Lord's time and our time. You know? We think, man, we've been in slavery. Esau been kicking our ass. Right. The Lord like, man, y'all ain't, look, it's been 20 minutes. You know? Yeah, you gonna grab that? And Peter?
I can get that one.
Okay. So the point we're making here is this. When you come to serve the Lord, prepare your soul for temptation. You're gonna see people transform right before your eyes. You're gonna see like literally demons pop up on people. You can be talking to somebody, and then next thing you know, you be like, hold on, bro. Like, what's wrong with you? You're being tempted at your job, if you have a job, you know, or trying to get a job. All those things, hey, the men of the Lord constantly go through. You know? I was telling the brothers, you know, personally, man, me and Jobs just don't get along. Me and Jobs just don't get along. Because it's a spiritual ordeal going on. You know? And once you understand this truth makes you free. To where now your conduct is above the base society in which it's being ran. You know, I always call it, you know, they're trying to put Jake, they're trying to put Jake in the box, but they call it Jack in the box. You know, they always trying to put Jake back in the box. Well, this is how you doing things according to us. I'm like, bro, but that shit don't work. So like, I'm going off.
Yeah, no, the same thing they do to Yahweh Shai. Again,
right.
Said like the servant is not above his master. These churches are there to keep Yahweh Shai boxed up.
Beautiful.
And beautiful. Put up in the attic somewhere. Where they push that they push that Jesus the Christ on you.
Jesus juice.
Yeah, give you that Jesus juice to drink. So this is the book of Ezra, chapter 9, verse 13. And after all that has come upon us, for our evil deeds, beautiful, for our great trespass, seeing that thou, our power, has punished us less than our iniquities deserve.
Right, exactly.
And has given us such deliverance as this.
You gonna break it down?
Oh, it's going what the brother said, you know, All wickedness brought us here, man. And it seems like at times it feels overbearing. But when looking at the scope of things,